Hello, welcome to Lady Lovestead Reads. My name is Jessica and this is my December TBR and new releases video. First, carryovers from November. I have one. It is Silverborne, The Mystery of Morrigan Crow by Jessica Townsend. This is a middle grade fantasy that I'm buddy reading with my friend Sherry. I'm about halfway through, so I'll probably finish this in December. But this is about Morrigan, who in the first book is a cursed child. She's whisked away into this magical world called Nevermore. She goes to a magical school. It's excellent. This is the fourth book in the series that was just published this year. So we'll finish that. That's my only carryover from November. So we're starting on a pretty fresh slate. The next book that I want to read in December is Housekeeping by Marilyn Robinson. This is considered a modern classic. I picked this up because I've been going to a local book club here in my community, and this was the book pick for the month of December. I actually found this in the little free library in my community, so I'm wondering if someone else who's going to be attending book club read it and didn't like it and unhauled it. So we'll see. Let me just read you the back. It says, a modern classic that brilliantly portrays the impermanence of all things, especially beauty and happiness. Housekeeping is the story of Ruth and her younger sister Lucille, who grow up haphazardly, first under the care of their competent grandmother, then of two comically bumbling great aunts, and finally of Sylvie, their eccentric and remote aunt. The family house is in the small far west town of Fingerbone, which is set on a glacial lake, the same lake where their grandfather died in a spectacular train wreck and their mother drove off a cliff to her death. That sounds very dramatic. It is a town chastened by an outsized landscape and extravagant weather, and chastened again by an awareness that the whole of human history had occurred elsewhere. Ruth and Lucille's struggle toward adulthood beautifully illuminates the price of loss and survival and the dangerous and deep undertow of transience. That sounds like a big thinky book. It's fairly short though. It looks like it's about 219 pages. It was published in the 80s, and I have never in my life heard of this book, so we'll see. Next is the Lovestead buddy read for the month of December, and it is a middle grade fantasy called Midnight in Everwood by M.A. Kuzniar, or Maria Kuzniar, and this is a Nutcracker retelling. Those are all the books that I'm for sure definitely getting to in the month of December. Otherwise, I'm just going to be mood reading. Let me show you what I checked out from the library for the month. I got volume 2 of Alice in Borderland by Haro, and this is dystopian horror where this group of young boys, they're very angsty young teenage boys. One night they see some fireworks, and after they see these fireworks, they're suddenly in a different dimension. And the dimension is kind of like the Hunger Games, where they have these tests that they have to get through. But we're not sure why they have these tests or how they can escape or what's going to happen. I read the first volume earlier this year, and it was so good. It was so intense. It's like what my anxiety nightmares are like. So I was really surprised at how good it was actually, and just the level of intensity. So here's volume 2. I picked up one of the new releases from this year that I've been looking forward to. I actually had requested my library buy this back when it came out. I want to say over the summer, and they finally got it. Poor libraries and their funding cuts. So it is The Unmapping by Denise S. Robbins. I'll just read the back of this one. Esme Green and Arjun Varma work for the City of New York's emergency management team and are tasked with disaster response for the unmapping. As Esme tries to wade through the bureaucratic nightmare of an endlessly shuffling city, she's distracted by the ongoing search for her missing fiancé. Meanwhile, Arjun focuses on the ground level rescue of disoriented New Yorkers hoping to become the hero the city needs. So what happens is that the people in New York City will go to bed, and in the morning the whole layout of the city is rearranged, so no one knows where anything is anymore, and that seems to happen every single night. So that's what the Unmapping comes from. This is one of those new releases that's kind of stuck in my head since I had heard about it, so I'm happy that the library got it for me. I may or may not actually get to it this month. And then I checked out a cute little Christmas story, in part because it's timely, and in another because I would love to read this author's entire work, like what we call it, oeuvre. I'd love to read all of Frederik Backman's books and novellas. So this is The Deal of a Lifetime by Frederik Backman. And I actually read the acknowledgement that he wrote for why he wrote this book. And I thought it was a really good way to kind of explain what it is. And it was just like really beautiful in itself. So let me read it for you. Sit back with your warm drink. Get ready for some story time. It says a few words before the rest of the words. This is a short story about what you would be prepared to sacrifice in order to save a life. If it was not only your future on the line, but also your past. Not only the places you are going, but the footprints you've left behind. If it was all of it, all of you, who would you give yourself up for? I wrote this story late one night shortly before Christmas in 2016. My wife and children were sleeping a few arms length away. I was very tired. It had been a long and strange year, and I had been thinking a lot about the choices families make. Every day, everywhere, we go down one road or another. We play around, we stay at home, we fall in love and fall asleep right next to each other. We discover we need someone to sweep us off our feet to realize what time really is. So I tried to tell a story about that. It was published in the local newspaper of my hometown, Helsingborg, in the southernmost part of Sweden. All the locations in the story are real. I went to school around the corner from the hospital and the bar where the character's drink is owned and run by childhood friends of mine. I've gotten very drunk there on several occasions. If you're ever around Helsingborg, I highly recommend it. I live 600 kilometers further north now in Stockholm with my family. So in retrospect, I think the story was not just about how I felt about love and death that night that I was sitting on the floor next to the bed of my wife and our kids while sleeping, but also about my feelings for the place where I grew up. Maybe all people have that feeling deep down, that your hometown is something you can never really escape, but can never really go home to either. Because it's not home anymore. We're not trying to make peace with it, not with the streets and bricks of it, just with the person we were back then. And maybe forgive ourselves for everything we thought we would become and didn't. Maybe you will find this to be a strange story, I don't know. It's not very long, so at least it will be over quickly in that case. But I hope my younger self would have read it and found it to be, well, not horrible. I think he and I could have gone for a beer, talked about choices. I would have shown him pictures of my family and he would have said, all right, you did all right. Anyway, this is the story. Thank you for taking the time to read it. Brilliant. Just that. Other things going on. We're not doing any kind of watch along on the Discord in the month of December. It's just a very open month. We're going to do sprints, Saturday sprints on Saturday, December, I don't have my glasses, 6th, I think. The first Saturday in December, we'll do Saturday sprints where we start pretty much noon Central Standard Time, which is Chicago time, and go all day long. You can do whatever you want during sprints. You can read, you can clean, you can do homework, whatever. It's just a way for us to really spend time together virtually is all. Okay, and then I do have 5 new releases that look interesting. Most of them are literary fiction. The first one is Daddy Issues by Kate Goldbeck. This is a contemporary romance that comes out, November. So that one's already out. Oops. Anyway, I'll still read the description for you. It says a jaded 20-something is stuck living at home, her life on pause, when a single dad becomes her new neighbor and unexpectedly sets her life and her heart into motion in this modern love story from the best-selling author of You Again. One of the booktubers that I follow and who I align with quite closely on what we like is Jan Agaton, and she recently read and really liked this one. Okay, moving on to new releases that are actually in December. First, we have Palaver. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, by Bryan Washington. This is literary fiction. It says a life-affirming novel of family mending and how we learn to love from the award-winning Bryan Washington. In Tokyo, the son works as an English tutor, drinking his nights away with friends at a gay bar. He's entangled in a sexual relationship with a married man, and while he has built a chosen family in Japan, he's estranged from his family in Houston, particularly his mother, whose preference for the son's oft-troubled homophobic brother Chris pushed him to leave home. Then, in the weeks leading up to Christmas, 10 years since they've seen each other, the mother arrives uninvited on his doorstep. That sounds really interesting. The next one, coming out December 2nd, is Before I Forget by Tory, Henwood, Hoen. This is also literary fiction. It says, call it inertia, call it a quarter-life crisis. Whatever you call it, Cricket Campbell is stuck. Despite working at a zeitgeisty wellness company, the 26-year-old feels anything but well. Still adrift after a tragedy that upended her world a decade ago, she's entered early adulthood under the weight of a new burden, her father's Alzheimer's diagnosis. This sounds like sad girl lit fic, which is a subgenre I absolutely love. Also expected on December 2nd is Television by Lauren Rothery. I have this pulled up on my spreadsheet on my computer, that's why I keep looking away. This one is also literary fiction. It says BoJack Horseman meets Joan Didion. An aging A-list movie star lotteries off the entirety of his mega million blockbuster salary to a member of the general viewing public before taking up with a much younger model. His non-famous best friend and often lover looks on impassively while recollecting their 20-odd years of unlikely connection, and an inspiring filmmaker, unknown to them both, labors over a script about best friends and lovers while longing for the financial freedom to make great art. And then the last one, this will come as no surprise to you. I think this is a new bind-up of previously published comics. And it is Garfield's Crash Diet, his 78th book by Jim Davis, also expected December 2nd. So not much to say about that one. It's just a bind-up of Garfield comics, and I'm obsessed with Garfield, so that's definitely going on my wish list. I think of all these new releases, the one that I would be most interested, aside from Garfield, which is a given, Garfield's like part of my brand at this point, the one that I'm most interested in would probably be Television by Lauren Rothery. So those are the books that I definitely plan to read, might read, and am looking forward to releasing in the month of December, along with the activities at the Lovestead. Let me know down below, what are some of your plans for December that you're excited about? What's a book you're really looking forward to read, whether it's a new one or old one? And if you are enjoying my content, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. That helps grow the community. If you're feeling really at home here, go ahead and join the Discord. Everything is linked in the description box down below. If you just want to leave me an emoji to let me know that you're here, go ahead and leave me the television emoji for the new release that I'm most looking forward to. And until next time, make sure that you continue to read good books, drink good coffee, take care of yourselves and each other. Bye!